Hey, beautiful morning, folks. This is Midnight Brands coming to you on Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 with live prep. Hopefully everybody's having a good day. It looks like Ziggy is all well and prepared for this morning with lots of grins and party caps and who knows what else this guy's got going on, I tell you. This was a interesting and good day yesterday. I saw a lot of people asking what the hell happened, and I gotta say, it was surprising, but it wasn't that surprising. We saw all the different pieces of evidence and stuff that we had prepped there at the zones, at the lows, even CL yesterday and kind of where it stopped. I mean, it was really right at the 10-day point of control, so it came down, tagged a whole bunch of things, including some other stuff, and then it was just 10-day point of control stuff. Gold yesterday was right down into a great level with one of the daily cheats there. So it was really kind of a good, fun, interesting day. So with that, going to get one more thing moved around here, and then we'll go ahead and get into it and get started here. That's good. All right, so yeah, SVXY really clean. It reminds us of looking at UVXY, which I guess is good and bad because it only has a few zones for us to really worry about. It only traded a whopping, was at 99 cents yesterday. Didn't really get a whole lot of movement to it. This morning it's not really doing a whole lot either here, as you can see, which isn't the worst thing in the world, even though indices have popped quite a bit there. Had I known that, would have loved to have taken along, but oh well. We'll get some here this morning, ideally. So on SVXY here, just noting the full ADRs there. Not really going to pay any attention to this WTGR1 trend strength reference point. Really get the focus more on these levels here that the algo already highlighted for us. Just extending some of these down here a little bit. Would also note, like, if we decide to really get some pullback, then we definitely could see some of these lower levels here. Won't care about the photo ADRs, but will mark and pay attention to the full, which is down there near that AR1 stuff and whatnot. And then if we do decide to really get cooking, then you could very easily see that upside zone, that massive pivot cluster there, as well as full ADRs and tier 1 and weak cheat. I don't think it's feasible for today, but we'll mark it just in case. Is we do have up here weekly full ADRs, weekly trend guide reversal 3, and so yeah, you got that, and you got this to the downside. I mean, it's really kind of clean and straightforward. There's not a whole lot to say. It is interesting. Yesterday, really small range, but we did pop above those February highs back there, and then even that retest. So it'll be very telling today to see kind of what SVXY does here today, especially with the way that VIX has just been continuing to die the slow, painful death. So. Alright, and like I said, as we noted, there's a couple extra zones that we highlighted there. We're going to move on next here to VIX. Looks like a Christmas tree on the right there. Red, green, red, green. Make up your fucking mind. Alright, VIX. So first upside, you got weekly trend guide. You got the 20-day, which I dragged that up to capture. You also have your gap fill. Under that, we've got our photo ADRs, weekly pivots, and then you end up into the trend guide, trend strength. I don't know. I really care about this trend strength here. It's there. Sure, there's an auto supply in demand. I actually dragged that zone down a little bit. Just didn't jive with me that well. Trend guide reversal, 22nd day in a row that has been trend guide reversal. It hasn't seemed to stop it much, but it is there. So you got that, and then looking left here, you've got these two kind of more significant lows back 1634, 1603. The 03 obviously aligns up pretty well with the weekly trend guide reversal, photo ADRs, and the tier 1 end of week cheat. It is interesting here too to note that that is the OPEX cheat there, and I believe the VIX OPEX cheat is actually tomorrow. Let me just double check this. Oh shit, no, it's today. Is that right? Yeah, that is today. So the OPEX cheat is today. So that is very interesting that it's up there. So I'm going to expand this zone here to include that because of where the OPEX cheat is for today. Just for VIX. CL also has a different expiry piece, but we'll get there when we get there. So yeah, not a whole lot else to say really. Kind of clean there on VIX. We do decide to get going, like all notes and stuff here that I'll draw on the screen, but I don't know if it'll happen or not. Don't care. You know, if we do decide to get going up here, this 50-day is gonna kind of travel down. So if we do start to get going, that 50-day will come down into that area there, and so I would watch kind of that block, especially with the 20-ish level. So yeah. Otherwise, you got your regular stuff that's already marked up there. Okay, that is VIX. Let's take a look at SPY. Good sized gap up here this morning. Go see that piece in just a second. I think it's up to like 415, 416-ish area. So you can see it's starting to get to some of this bigger stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and take that off because it's right at the same spot as the top edge of that range box. And so like I talked about, last week, I mean, it tried poking above, kept rejecting, tried, and then on what was that, Thursday, Friday, whatever day this was here. So Friday, it came down and just tested the top edge of that and held it and went. And then we're up to almost 416-ish. Okay, so This won't be photo ADRs because we are gapping up, obviously, just about $2. So photo ADRs will be up here somewhere, or about where full is, and full ADRs are going to be obviously up higher. And to that end, going to note a couple extra things here today, given where and how we're gapping on things. We've got a gap fill there, weekly full ADRs, top edge supply and demand. And I believe if we continue the path that we're going, full ADRs would line up in that area too. Nonetheless, it's weekly full. Let's see what else we got on the downside or below that. So you've got the zone we just talked about with weekly trend guide reversal 2. Monthly trend guide reversal, which that's going to end up being photo ADRs there. Trend guide reversal, trend strength, don't care about. Trend guide zone. Man, if we give that all back to be an $8 move, we could. We gotta watch for this down here if we do decide to give it all back. So you got a couple of swing AVWAPs there. Probably be focused more on the older one. Just have to watch the one from the secondary March 29th at 10:30. Gap fill and then weekly trend guide there. Fail that, and actually, depending upon how we move this morning, the look may very well end up moving into that zone there and coming up higher. So don't know. There's a lot else to say there on that one. I'm going to adjust this so we can actually see the fucking dates. Alright, there we go. There's your SPY. One other piece I'll note, as you can see there on the daily, it is kind of interesting with how we're progressing. I mean, this is, getting up into that area, which would take us up into that weekly full ADRs, right? Because this is for 21, 22-ish is what it looks like. So that would put us up in kind of this area here. So maybe not a today thing. Maybe we do a little bit of a push tomorrow and then we pull back from there. So have to keep an eye on all this and see what and how it lines up and whatnot. And like I said, down here we just combined this into one zone. Yes, it's a wider zone, but I think it makes sense given kind of where and how things have progressed this morning. Does it really make sense to watch for, a 30-cent zone, or expand your thing in there a little bit and come down, maybe test trend guide, pop a little bit, and then come back down and grab your weekly pivot and whatnot. Just have to keep an eye on that and see. And obviously, you fail that, then you got a good bit of open space to. I would kind of expect the top edge of this box here to fail then, and then come down to the weekly trend guide spot. All right, Qs. Get the chance to clean that up. I do not like that swing AVU up there. Over under too many times, even for a 1 hour bar. flirting pretty good with this daily anchor VWAP there. What'd you say, Alex? Sucks, man. Okay, so Q's good, nice upside zone there. Weekly trend guide, tier 2 sheet, weekly photo ADRs. That's right, I did get a little bit of a chance to adjust that. 324. Yeah, I guess you could drag this up to capture the end of week sheet there as well. Above here, you've got 321 mark-ish level. I don't care about the photo ADRs because we're not going to get that. It's just not going to be photo ADRs with $2 gap. Photo and full ADRs will be up higher. But that does also mean we need to watch for this is a zone here, given that with the bottom edge of supply and demand, this photo ADR 322. Yeah, its photo ADR is going to be really kind of up here, and the full are going to be up in that block there from the looks of it. But you got supply and demand gap fill, and that's going to be a pretty old gap fill, probably going back to, it's guess the August time frame. On that 320-ish level, 323. And here below, we've got trend guide reversal, which was also last week's highs, obviously there. So come back to the scene of the crime, and we're already above it. So what do? Trend strength in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, this won't even full photo ADRs. Yeah, photo ADRs is going to end up coming all the way up to like trend strength or something like that. Like with where we're at, I mean, gapped up $2, 315.67, so 317.67. So you know what, we do want to actually worry about this, especially if we fail trend guide reversal from above, because this is going to end up being, if we stay at this kind of elevated level and whatnot, that's going to end up being photo ADRs there. And full, this could very well end up being the full ADRs up in this area here. I'm going to change it a little bit here. We're going to drag it up to grab the bottom of that, pull it down to grab the 20. Obviously the 20 will rise up. Remove the fact of calling it a div zone. And this is going to get dragged down, and we're going to mark it as an ADR zone because that's just kind of how it's looking for the day. We're going to drag it down to grab those opens and closes there. Right, Q's. All right, say look at ES. And let's remind ourselves what we got here today for econ stuff. So 6:45, we've got ICSC weekly retail sales. At 7:30 Central, we've got a whole bunch of housing starts, building permits, etc. At 7:55, we have Johnson Red Book weekly sales. And then I'm sure there's probably some Fed speaker today blabbering about something. So that's what we look like from an econ perspective today. I don't know that we'll get much jump off any of these housing start number things here, but I did, just to be safe, draw the zones way to the upside there. So, like I said, I did mark this way up there. It seems really crazy to me, but I mean, look, volume's continues to be kind of low. We, it just, yeah. Let's see if I can drag this in without sharing things I don't need to share. Yeah, there you go. So, I mean, this was 2:30, and so obviously, yeah, we traded, another half an hour there. But I mean, that's not a lot, on Friday, like where's Friday's numbers? Friday we had some volume in there, but if you look at the other numbers from last week, nothing. Thursday. Okay, Thursday was CPI, right? It's not summer trading hours for sure, but it's not any level of significant volume right now for whatever reason. I think everybody's just kind of waiting to see. It's a guess, I have no idea. Doesn't really matter though, to be honest. So maybe we decide to get really crazy and do a blow off, go and tag, early this week, the weekly full ADR, trend guide 3. Maybe we don't do it today. Maybe we go up and pop it overnight into Asia and then reverse off of this at the 42.80-ish level. Maybe come grab that 42.94, which was definitely some structure back in here in April. Played around with it, couldn't really get above it back in August. So maybe we do that into Asia session tonight, grab the weekly full, and kind of fade off of that and come back down. Don't know, but decided to mark it because it felt like it was the right thing to do. So with that, I don't know there's a whole lot. We'll notate some of these as we draw them up on the screen there. The other part obviously to notice here is right around probably 42.40-ish level is the completion of that ABCD getting back there. If that's 17, that's probably 30.40, which is in these zones here. So with that, we've got this first one here, which we dragged up a little bit to capture the tier 3 daily cheat. So if we really decide to get going, you know, it'd be a 60 point-ish day, but you know, that's kind of the upside one that we would watch for. Under that, you get to your weekly trend guide 2, full ADRs. You've also got some volume node stuff in there. Specifically here, I would say that this was a 3-year low volume node, and then there's also a gap fill back from August, which would be probably this guy over in here. One of these guys here, I guess, which is that line, yellowish line there. I'm not really sure about that being a gap fill, but it is the OPEX cheat. There we've got our photo ADR, which we dragged the zone up to capture a little bit, and the weekly trend guide reversal. What else we got here? Trend guide reversal really by its lowest. So maybe it does have what was April highs until it took it out in the overnight session here so far. You've also got the supply and demand low, which was our rejection point on Friday. Like we barely get above up into that area and rejected. So, and we pushed right through it. So do we come up and tag TGR and fade? And do we do something where we come up here, come back, and go? Or do we start a waterfall? Don't know. But that's why I marked zones to be prepared for them. So trend strength. If we failed trend guide reversal from above, I don't know how much I'd actually watch for trend strength. Will I want to try it? Oh, yeah, I'm sure, absolutely. Do it? Should I? Probably not. We'll have to see where it sits the time of day, because we do have this trend line that's got several touches now, right? So you got touches back on 12th, 13th, again on the 13th, and then yesterday there at the lows. So you just have to watch and see where it plays out. Trend guide there, I'd almost say I'd want to not put a ton of weight on and watch more for this weekly pivot one, just because it's inside of yesterday's range, Friday's range. I mean, it's inside a whole bunch of crop in through here. Now that said, it would be a higher low, kind of like what we had here, and we had again yesterday. So it could just continue that stair-stepping type of function, come off of this trend line here. Maybe we come over here and tag it kind of late in the day again, and move up from there. So it is one for us to keep an eye on. For those that use the exported chart, like this stuff will not show because this is done on, as you can see, on a different chart than the quad that I have for that stuff. I don't think I'm going to mark these divs here. They're definitely there, and they'll show up in the exported pieces of the chart, but I don't know that I'll watch them as much as I would down here. So we may get a bit of reaction off of, say, like the 10-day, last week's point of control, 10-day point of control. The daily cheat stuff or tier 2 stuff is here. So I actually think I would watch for this one here. Yeah, and actually if we decide to come all the way down there, I would actually adjust this to grab the weekly photo ADRs, and for that matter, tier 1 end of week cheat. That'd be an 80 point move down from here. So that is how I would look at ES. NQ. So noted NQ also has a little bit of a trend channel there. Cleaner from a zone perspective, I guess depending upon how you look at it there. It did not go to the extreme and mark the weekly full. It is up there. It is, I guess, certainly possible at this point with kind of where and how things have been going. $286. We've traded what 133 points already. Should be a 400 point move. That'd be really massive. So I don't know that we'll mark that stuff. I think it is a possibility this week to go grab that weekly full. It'd be kind of a nice blow off. Although that said, like the way we keep chopping in through here is a lot of the 20-day to stay really close by. We've not really just blown off from this 20-day. So the talk of everybody, you know, oh, it's so extended. Like it keeps traveling along. And you can see here, I mean, this has definitely cooled off, and I mean, I guess you could argue too, like, hey, we're making new highs, and so maybe you could view this potentially as a bearish divergence. I am not. I'm just viewing this as, yeah, we got a good pop, and you know we're cooling off. We're not, you know, getting stupid insane and running away from everything. So I could be completely wrong. That's just how I am kind of looking at and seeing it there. In any event, I don't know there's a whole lot else really to mark up and say on this one. It, like I said, is fairly clean there. You will notice that we marked up and included a few extra pieces here, which I'll get to in 1 second. So marked up and included this full ADR zone tier 2 daily cheats, which would also include the top edge of this channel. I don't really like attaching them to the top of the close and stuff there. It just so happened that when I was doing the transfer trend line and lock to bar and price, it grabbed there. I was trying to put it on these two, and mouse moved, whatever. I was like, well, wow, look at that. Looks like it works from there too. So I just left it. So in any event, you've got that there, along with, again, kind of that full in tier 2. And if we really keep going, then, you know, it'd be like a 300 point-ish day. Like we'd go up here and shoot past the full ADRs and go maybe grab like the weekly trend guide reversal 2, the weekly photo stuff. You also have the tier 1 day weekly cheat and the tier 3 daily. If I could get my stuff together and talk. Now we fail all that stuff, and like I said, you've got these kind of bigger zones here. If we can't hold above trend guide reversal today, then the question, you know, how much do you watch trend strength? Do you potentially even watch the top edge of this one to see kind of where it had been going, especially with this like 10-day high value area last week's low volume node? Do we come down and kind of test this stuff from above and hold and push? You can see like we could, you know, just kind of barely get above this area stuff, which is why it was the 10-day HVA for high value area. And you might say, how the hell do you know it's high value area? There's a line through it. Well, because I can read down here and it says 10-day LVA. So yeah. Look at RTY. Popped through that guy. So let's take him off the screen. Did not get a chance to look at and preview RTY or YM today. So it may look funky, may have to adjust a bunch, we will see. I think that's fine, but I would, oh, these are all gonna be locked because the way I did that. That's alright. It's a pain, but it will all work out. You'll see. Just give me another 30 seconds, please. Or if I could click on the mouse to unlock the bars here. There we go. Alright, so what do we got? We got a div marked up to 1840-ish level. 1850 is where we've got some historical structure. Which is up there, but quarterly pivot doesn't get marked and included. So I think I would move this guy up and capture it like that and focus more on that, on this stuff up here, and gives me a little bit of pause because you got full ADRs right there, so I would even go up higher. And especially if it being a low volume node, like we'll just go blow through it and grab this stuff higher here. Given what and how we've moved, could very easily see this where we come up and tag the photo ADRs. Where we started all that was saying, hey, let's take this down and pull in and grab this gap fill. I think we'd ignore this high value area last week in 10 day right there. Thought I got rid of all those. Is that the 3-year there, maybe? Give me a second, folks. I want to check something out here. That's a 3-year high volume node. And it's an automated one, too, so I didn't draw that. Okay. I do think we're gonna pay attention to this here today. It is definitely inside, but given kind of the cluster stuff there with the 10-day and last week high value area, and then the going back to 2020, I mean that's a high volume node right at that spot there. So you also got the naked VA from yesterday, and so I do think that's an area for us to keep an eye on. Moving down below, you get a little bit of a bigger zone there, which you can compress if you don't care about the market profile pieces, and drag down. I would probably still keep it here though, because you've got the NV POC right there, and then you also have the rolling 10-day point of control and last week's point of control stuff right there, along with the tier 1 daily cheat. depending upon how we progress, it's very likely that we're going to get to see this 20-day EMA continue to push and rise up into that zone. And I would see the full ADRs probably keep going that way too, from the looks of it. So we've only traded 13 points. We've been doing 40-ish. I mean, so that would kind of put a cap on things there. But again, if we decide, I don't know. Like, talk about a straight line. We're already up into the tier 1 end of week cheat stuff there too. I would just watch that as a div, especially with the way we've been going. I noticed XBI was doing the same thing too. It had a really big push yesterday, as did KRE for that matter. Pushed really strong off of its AS2 block, but the XBI, you know, pushed right off the 50 and started flirting with the 200-day weekly trend guide reversal 2. And then today it's got, that is kind of the first block, which is already pushed above, and above that it runs into monthly trend guide and daily trend guide reversal. Yeah, I don't know, I'll do a lot else here on RTY. Do you have actually this, in this block here, there's the daily anchor VWAP, which gets noted actually right there from April 3rd. Sorry, February 2nd. I don't know what the hell I was talking about, April 3rd. Alright, so anyways, so that is RTY. Spent longer than I think we should have or needed to. Take a look at YM. Ideally, we don't have to address much here because all the zones are locked, because I ran this last night and saved all the charts so that I could start nice and clean on the zones here today. Big rejection off that div level there for YM. Oh, there must have been earnings out here or something. Did City have earnings or something today? Let's see. Bank of America had earnings, and did Goldman Sachs, Lockheed Martin, Bank of New York Mellon. I can't tell if that's CME or not. And Comerica Bank. So on Goldman Sachs is in the Dow, so that may be what's driving that kind of failure there off of that zone. So last week's highs are right there, obviously, as well. Looks like damn near to the tick. Got, push above, closed, and then next bar open up and couldn't push any higher. So definitely one for us to keep in watch today. I agree with the trend guide reversal, monthly trend guide 1. You've got the gap fill kind of just by itself. I think this guy can be trashed. It won't work there, and we're probably going to be close to rejecting. Not quite. Interesting. So that swing anchored VWAP comes right in with gap fill. So it'll be interesting to see if we can kind of hold up in this area and then go tag it here on the open. But my guess is we'll probably blow right through there and go down and tag the trend strength reference point, photo ADRs. If not, go and dig further to trend guide weekly pivot, naked VA, supply and demand, rolling 10-day high value area. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this block there for sure. Fail all that, and then we're going to come down and grab the full ADRs, tier 1 daily cheat. We've got some point of controls in there too. And then again, decide to blow through all that stuff, then come down here and grab these pieces. And I would note that you got kind of this good sized block here. Last week's low value area, swing anchored VWAP, trend guide, naked VA, NVPOC. There's a bunch of just kind of little evidence that most people won't have and pay attention to on their charts. And then start watching for these two bottom zones, which will update this because it won't be. In fact, I think we're just going to get rid of it because that daily anchored VWAP is going to come in to join this zone here, anyways. And we will note this in case we decide to get going again. A 60-point zone. That's how we'll look at YM. Hard to believe we got through all this stuff yesterday in half an hour. Of course, I had more time yesterday to review this stuff and looking at it over the weekend and whatnot, and just didn't make the time last night to do that. And weekly photo ADRs moved up, so this isn't even really a zone block there. I'm going to note it like this though, because we are going to see that. So and you can see we added a couple extra ones there. Let's see what else showed up. Good morning. All right, let's flip over. I've unfortunately had this CL chart up there the whole time. Oops. Did end up rejecting off of that daily anchor VWAP from June 29th of last year. We haven't been able to push above it. We seem to not be wanting to hold the gap day daily anchor VWAP, so I'm going to take it off. And coming back to test the top edge of this box here. So this is going to be interesting. You do have the look right down here at the 78.51. That would be a sweet, sweet spot. It's also coming up to line in too with the weekly photo ADRs. And so that could be a really nice play there if we could get that. One positive, did notice and adjust and take care of the cleaned up a little bit of how we're drawing out these, so we shouldn't see those crazy extremes where it's grabbing 7, 8, 9, 10 bucks on things like gold and other things here. So yeah, what do we got here? If we decide to reverse all this stuff, it'd be a $4 move, which we've done here in the recent past. We've done like a $6 or $7 move in some recent days, so it is not extreme and reasonable for us to have marked that. So you get that one, each 200-day SMA, last week point of control. Underneath that, we get monthly trend guides, high volume node, last week and 10-day. Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that part. I wouldn't expect that there. Anywho, full ADRs are now in. Full ADRs move down. So let's take this and remove it from being full ADR zone, and the one beneath it is now an ADR zone. It's also the tier 1 daily cheat. We have a gap fill there. Underneath we end up with our trend guide, and then coming down lower, looks like we get some good evidence and stuff in there. 95. I don't care about this here. How valid is that swing anchored VWAP from March 31st? Yeah, okay. So that's reasonable enough there. But we're so damn close to this spot here. So why not just come down and grab it and this stuff, or again, kind of move down lower and grab this cheat stuff here. Especially with where the wicks and stuff are here in this guy, like come down and grab this, grab the tier 1 end of week cheat, the tier 1 daily, you know, you got a bunch of wicks and stuff there. I mean, that just seems to make more sense. And then the bigger part to me would be this zone here where we've got full ADRs. The 79 price point was where you can see like where we held on that gap day. Because we don't hold here, it's, I'd say it's open space, but man, the look setup with the 20-day and swing anchor VWAP is going to come right up and join weekly photo ADRs. So that could be really interesting. But yeah, like if we don't hold this, I mean, maybe we do dig down and collect this stuff, but this is just a massive, massive gap, and we're flirting with the top edge of this range box here too. You can see we've been playing with, we also have the 30-week SMA in here at 79.55, which is also right in the same div block area there. So, I think the CL looks really interesting today. I'm definitely keeping that one front and center. Obviously, a bunch of other stuff in here, but that's probably the biggest thing to keep on watch. Outside of indices, of course. Would watch this from the upside though, where you get that zone there. But this could be really interesting in this 10-day point of control that we're just flirting around with here, which takes us back to the day after the gap is where that point of control takes us to. You can see they're marked out in the chart. Doesn't go all the way back here, it goes right to that that next day. All right, let's take a look at GC. While we say all that, I need to pull up and check something else real quick. How do we fare overnight? Sweet. No whammies. Why did my stuff not change? I picked GC. Must have clicked twice or something. Also looks like my chart didn't save yesterday after I on the workspace save. Oh, that's right, because the whole computer crashed. This guy here is definitely trash now. Really, really nice move off of this guy yesterday. I think it was the tier 3 daily cheat was right here as well with that 20-day EMA. Seems odd that it's like that. Is there 2 there or something? No, it's just light gray and 10, that's why. I'll at least do that for now. Sorry, it's throwing my eye off looking at that the way that was marked up. Okay, we can also get rid of this because it's definitely been violated just a handful of times. And so we're going to adjust this zone. That was the whole point of that little exercise. So I want to drag it up and capture up to here where we had the closes and stuff yesterday. Definitely gets to be a wider zone, but that is definitely one want to see is maybe we just come back and retest, but we just wick into it and we don't have any closes or anything else, so just tap it and go. You also get that 20-day and the trend guide reversal. Interestingly enough, it's also in that area a 3-year high volume node at that 1995-ish level. Above, I don't really like that div right there. You've got the swing anchored VWAP, point of control, gap fill. Yeah, I mean it's all stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna take that off. Maybe I'll pay for it, but if anything, I think actually I have to take that back. I'm going to leave this up here and drag this up to grab that wick. So yeah, I mean, sure, watch this as how are we interacting in here. Maybe we come up and div to collect this swing anchored VWAP. Maybe we keep dorking around in here and fail from that spot. So not going to take it above this weekly or full ADR weekly pivot point, tier 2 daily cheat stuff there. I think that's good enough. Similar on the downside, full ADR is kind of off by itself. You could argue it's close here to the gap fill, and so we could mark it like this, where you come down and grab this stuff here like that. So yeah. I don't know there's much else to say on this. It overall looks relatively clean on gold. So. So yeah, that is it, folks. I don't have anything else. So hopefully everybody has a great day, and go get them. It looks like some pretty clean stuff out there across the board. CL1 definitely has my my attention here this morning with that look set up, playing with the top edge of this range box and stuff here for sure. And so definitely want to keep an eye on that one. It's also interesting that natural gas has pulled back a little bit from yesterday. Came up and tagged its gap fill from I don't even know how long ago overnight. Failed right from it, and it's pulling back. But will it hold this time or not? I mean, that's the question that everybody wants to know. I can guarantee there's a crap load of nat gas bears out there that are right now piling into this thing. So is this the one that catches them by surprise and we really get moving? So gonna be interesting. Hopefully everybody has a good one, and with that we will catch y'all later.